Welcome everybody. This is the Thursday evening Viper trading webinar. If you are here to learn about trading the futures markets using the Viper tools, you are absolutely in the right place. First, we got to get our standard disclaimer out of the way, and then we can get over to the charts and start looking at trade setups. All communications from Viper Trading Systems are for educational purposes only. Futures and Forex trading does involve risk, and there is a risk of loss. Nothing contained in this webinar. Other webinars, including the live trading room, are to be construed as investment or trading advice. And of course, everyone in here does know that you do trade at your own sole discretion. I see a few more folks still coming in. If you're just coming in, don't worry, we haven't started yet. We're going to get started in just a second. And we're going to get over to, let's start with YM. Tonight's topic, by the way, is spotting and trading trend changes. This is part one of a two-part series. Let's get over here to screen one where I got a chart set up for us. And since we have a few newbies in the team here in the webinar tonight, let's start off with just a few of the basics. So we all got a good foundation to work from, and then once we have that in place, we can start getting into a little bit more complex setups. So when we say trend, when we say trend change, in order to have a trend change, we have to know what? What's the critical thing we have to know if we're going to anticipate a trend change? What do we need to know at any given point in our trading? What's critical to know about trading trend changes? Anybody? By the way, can everybody see my YM chart here? Cursor moving around, make sure everybody's dialed in. Cursor moving around, YM chart. This is not today, by the way, this is a couple of days ago. Kenneth says you got to know the current trend. Adam says you got to know the direction. Background colors come into play. Yeah, so you got to know at any given point, you have to know what your current condition is, because you can't trade a change unless you know what the condition is that you're in right now, the current state. So before we get into starting to predict and look at trend changes, let's try to do this. Let's look at different conditions on the charts and make sure we're all on the same page. So over here, you can see that we were predominantly in what? Right in here, over here, up here, over here, uptrend, right? Now here's the common misconception that I think that a lot of traders have, and some of you might be struggling this with yourself, with your trading, is that there's a conception that markets go from trending down to up and then up to down. So in other words, when we say trend reversal, most people are thinking, okay, well, what you're saying is that the trend was down and now it's up. And conversely, you know, okay, the trend was up and now it's going to flip to down. But the fact of the matter is, in most cases, and this isn't always true, we're going to look at several situations today and Saturday morning on the part two. We'll cover all the basics tonight, and part two we'll get into some more advanced topics. But I want you to look at this. I want you to see what happens here. What is happening right in here? This is the overnight session from a few days ago on YM. What kind of condition do we have more or less right in here on this chart? By the way, I see a few of you are participating. The more you participate in these, just the things that I've noticed over the years is the more you participate and jump into the questions that we're asking, you know, you're going to learn, you're going to pick up this stuff a lot quicker. But you know, if you're tired and you feel like answering questions, by all means, you know, just listen. Either way. Yeah, it's sideways. It's sideways. It's sideways. So let's look at where we were prior to going sideways. We were in what? A downtrend over here to the left, right? So let's talk about what a downtrend is. So when you know, some ways to spot a downtrend is lower lows and lower highs, but that's not always the case, because there are cases where a trend move is punctuated by sideways movement, as you have right here and as you have right here. So that's the point I was trying to get to. The point I'm trying to make is this, is that, you know, let's say if you're in a trend, in this case you were in a downtrend, very powerful one from the other day, okay? It started all the way up here. You started to sell off, sell off, sell off, and then this is into the close a couple of days ago. Then what happened in here? We consolidate. So when you're in a trend and you know what the trend is, down, generally your background's going to be red. Predominantly your bars are going to be red. You're going to see the bands and the mid-band stair stepping down like this, okay? And keeping with the notion of lower highs and lower lows in a downtrend, and then it gets punctuated with a short period of sideways consolidation. So in sideways consolidation, after a downtrend move like this, what's actually happening in here? What's going on in here? Why is it doing this? Why does it go from down and then all of a sudden you start kind of going sideways like this? What is that? Why is it doing that? Here, let's look at it again. Okay, here we start to continue the downward move, and then look over here. We start to go sideways again. Why is it doing that? Why does it do that? Anybody? Anybody have any ideas why it does that? Here's a trend move down, and then we're sideways. Trend move down, sideways. We're going to see that a lot on a lot of charts. What's going on here? You see this all day and all night long. It doesn't matter. You could put the euro up. You could put the dollar up. You could be looking at ES or 6E. It doesn't matter. They all have patterns that look almost exactly like this. You have a trending type move, and then you have consolidation. What's going on? Okay, consolidation, profit taking, indecision from Adam. Yep. There's some short covering from Dave. Yep. You've reached a balance of buying and selling from David D. Right? Bears and bulls are fighting fairly evenly. Good, Roger. That's exactly what's happening. So we all know that when you're in a downtrend, that in order to book profits from your short trades from higher levels is you have to cover your shorts. It's where you buy it back, right? So that's where the profit taking comes in. Profit taking comes in. Short covering has a natural tendency to push markets back up. Now, when what's happening inside of this little range here is that your bears are taking profits on your shorts. That's what these little moves are right here. And then what's the market doing to push it back down? Why is it doing this if they're taking profits in here? Because I think it's going to be helpful to understand sort of the mechanics of what's going on in here. Yeah, the bears are trying to reassert themselves, right? So what happens is you get some amount of short covering. It comes up to resistance areas just above the mid-band here and rolls over. So you're re-shorting here. You're shorting in this range. You're taking shorts. Trend is still down, right? Yeah, and there's selling support. So it's not a rally by any means. Okay, you're not rallying here. What's happening is there's some amount of short covering, and then the bears step in and reassert themselves and push it right back down. So these are ideal conditions because when you have a nicely defined resistance area up here like this was, just above the mid-band, these are excellent reshorting opportunities, right? You're short from upper levels, you cover, you get back in, reshort it, get back in, reshort it. Now you can see right here what happens is that we get what's called trend continuation. Trend continuation is where a market continues the prior trend prior to the consolidation. So now we break down, this is where you get your runners, right? We'll talk about that in more detail in just a little bit. I'm talking right now at more kind of a conceptual level. So we're all on the same page when we look at these charts, okay? Now we come over here and what starts to happen again? More consolidation. So it's the same type of thing. That's what's happening when you see this on charts, okay? When you see it, you can just pretty much know what it is. And here's some more short covering from shorties from way up here or wherever. They're taking their profits. And then the bears come in, reassert themselves, push it right down to the bottom, and it continues on like that, right? Pretty straightforward. If you see this on a chart, you know what it is. Let's go ahead and continue on. So at this point in time, when we are going sideways, now you can make note of a couple of things here. First of all, you can note that the background color has changed to this opaque sort of indeterminate color. It's not green, it's not red. The other thing that really visually is helpful with seeing sideways consolidation, aside from visually you can just see the swings aren't going anywhere, is that your mid-band tends to flatten out. All of your bands are pretty much sideways, right? These are all visual things that are clues to tell you that you're going sideways. So you have to shift from trading retracements in a trend to trading the range. Here, for instance, you can see from way over here, your mid-band was just completely flat and sideways, right? So in most times we are expecting, oh, and just by the way, real quick before we leave this one, of course everybody knows we'd be shorting the top of the resistance, shorting these rollovers. So this would be an example of a case like the other, I think it was last Thursday, I did a webinar on how to trade ranges, which was a pretty good one last Thursday if you haven't seen trading ranges. In this case here, when you trade a range, you are not wanting to buy down here. You're not trading both sides of these, generally speaking, when you're in a strong trend, right? For instance, if you were buying support on either one of these consolidation patches, like here, you would have got creamed. You would have got a full stop out, right? Because you got trend continuation. Same thing happened over here. See how you're wanting to short this? You're wanting to short this until something changes. For the most part, when we have consolidation, we are expecting trend continuation. Okay? Let's continue on. Let's see if we get something change over here. So this is the pre-market session from the other day. Let's advance the chart. Here we're coming up on 6:30. This is the open of the market right here. In the pre-market session, you can see that it took the bottom of the range out at 5:30. Might have been some news that fueled this movement. And the sellers step right back in. Back down she goes. Here's 6:30. I'm here in California, so the open of the equity markets was right about here. So each time it pulled back and it formed a little box, you're looking to take shorts. You're just shorting this market all the way down. Now let's continue on and let's start to watch what happens here. You get a very precipitous drop. Here's the leg at the open all the way to 7 o'clock. This beautiful drop. This could have been one and done for you here. You could have boxed it in right here with the bias to the short side, taken the short on a close of a bar and then rode it all the way down, put some nice contracts on it, was trending. Stopped out right over here. So the trade was actually more like this. Let's say if you had boxed it in just under the mid-band bias to the short side, I would have been a 32 bandito, by the way. Does everybody know what a Band-Aid is? Anybody not know what a Band-Aid is? You hear that in the room a lot. I want to just make sure everybody knows what a Band-Aid is. Anybody not know the term Band-Aid? When we say that in the room, or we say something like box that in, everybody know what we're talking about when we say that? Anybody not know? I see a couple of you are not really certain. Okay, a Band-Aid is this, basically. When you have a preset time, like in the morning at 6:31 and 6:32, wherever the price is located, whatever band that is located in, okay? So let's say hypothetically 6:31 was right here. And we have a Band-Aid set to paint there. So what will happen is it will highlight this band wherever the price is. And the whole idea here is that we take our object trader tool and we box it in and we have a bias in this case and it's down. So we let it take the short and you get in on a close of a bar. Now let's start to advance the chart. Now we're over here at 7 o'clock. Now there are certain key times when you can look for changes in trend to occur. And one of them is around 7 o'clock Pacific time. Because why is that? Why is there a lot of times you get trend changes around 7 o'clock? Why is that? Anybody? Between 6:30 and 7 you get a move, and then sometimes from 7 to 7:30 you get a move, and then 7:30 to 8 things can change. What is going on? Why is that? In fact, for a long time there, I remember weeks and weeks and weeks, almost every single day at 7 o'clock there was a trend change. Why is that? Why does the market tend to change trends around 7 Pacific? That would be 10 o'clock Eastern. What's going on there? Anybody have any ideas? What the heck is going on at 7 o'clock? Why is that? Profit taking, selling support, reports, news coming in, pit opens, news events. Good. Yeah, a lot of times there's news right around 7 o'clock, right? 7 o'clock Pacific, there's usually some news coming out. And what happens is the market reacts to the news. Sometimes they like the news, or they don't like the news. You'll get trend continuation or you'll get reversals, right? Now let's see what happened right here. Let me advance the chart a little bit more. Here's 7 o'clock, here's 7:09, here's 7:20. Now wait, I'm going to pause the chart and we're going to look at something right here. Going to go ahead and advance the chart a little bit more, and a little bit more. What's starting to happen right in here? What is this? What's going on just to the right of this swing low over here? So here's the swing low right now, right around 7 o'clock of the morning, and I'm talking about this area right here. What's going on right here? What is that? What is happening right in there? Anybody? It's going sideways. But what else is going on in there? Can anybody tell me what else is going on in there? It's starting to get slightly, yeah, okay, good. I'm seeing several notes here. Here's what's happening. Here's what's happening. Could be a double bottom. So here's what I want everybody to take away from tonight. And this is really important. This is one of the first major things to make note of, and it's right over in here. We come up, and normally we expect the market to pause right in here and perhaps roll over, or maybe go just a little bit higher. So it comes up almost to this outermost band. So it breaks this swing right here. That in and of itself is not necessarily important, but we do come up a little higher. It's called a phantom short when it comes up to this outer, when you've had a long, powerful trend move down and it comes up to this outermost band and rolls over, that's called a phantom trade. So in other words, at this point in time, as of 7:23 to right here, you are still shorting rollovers, yes? You are still shorting rollovers up in here. See the short? But here's the important thing to make note of, and we do this in the room all the time, and everyone in here should develop the skill sets to do this, is you got another swing right here. What about that swing right there? That's a higher swing low, right? In other words, if we shorted this outermost band up here and it rolled over, our first target, everybody knows, is right here at the midband. So this is where your scalper trade, you would have taken off and you would tighten your stop. And you could have shorted again up here on a rollover. It repeats itself and you get another short here. So I did this, this is the first thing that I think is really confusing for a lot of people, and I'll just lay it out really straightforward and simple. Pretty much as long after you've had a trend move and you stay underneath this outermost band as the market tends to retrace, profit taking on the short covering, yes? As long as we stay under here and we continue to roll over, even though you can make note of the fact, and this is the visual clue I want you to pick up on, is this little series of swings right here did not get back down to the low. None of them, see? None of them got back down to the very low down here at 470, did they? So visually, that is an important, very, very important clue that the shorties are running out of gas. Because if we were going to get trend continuation, we should have at least checked the bottom, and just like these other two consolidation patches over here, we should have done what? Taken them out and headed down. Back over here. Taking it out and heading down, right? Taking it out, heading down, taking it out, heading down, trend continuation. But notice the difference between this breakdown, and what's happening over here. Everybody see what I'm talking about over here? See how this is not getting back to the lows? You're not checking the lows and then breaking? Now let's watch what happens next. What happens right here? Instead of taking down the bottom of this range back down to the low for trend continuation, what happens right here? What is happening right there? What did it just do? If you're following along with me, what's it doing right there? Trying to go step by step here, so we're all kind of following along in the same page. Yeah, it pops up. It takes the top out. Okay, I'm going to pause for 1 second and I'm going to ask this question. What are the other visual clues right here between 7, I'm going to say right over here, 712-ish, where it popped up, and then over here at 740, 746. So for this little swatch of maybe 25, 30 minutes, what other visual clues are on this chart other than what we looked at here with the slightly higher lows and the higher highs in this little range that consolidated? What else is happening? What other visual clues do we have that something is changing? Something is going on here. Just go ahead and type it in. There's some visual clues that are happening right there. What are they? What's the visual clues? See some good answers coming in. There's several other things that are happening here, and the reason I keep asking all these questions is, first of all, I'm kind of making sure everybody's still paying attention, and the second thing is I'm trying to see if everybody can spot the clues that are happening. Good. Green midband, and it's starting to rise. What else? Background colors are changing. Good, good, good. Midband starting to nudge a little bit higher. Stealth is starting to appear green. Yeah, exactly. Good. See. Here's the thing, especially for you experienced folks here, and then of course for all the new folks. We got quite a few new folks in here tonight. Is we designed this software with all the colors and the background and the bars and everything, so that you would have good visual clues as to what's going on. And one of the most important things to note is that when things start to change, your background colors start to do what? Start to go into a stripe type mode. Look at this area right in here in terms of the background colors. Okay, here over here we were solid red. Solid red means downtrend, right? Solid red, stair stepping down, downtrend. Here we go into a stripe pattern. neutral color, green, neutral color, green. We put that together with the series of a little bit higher lows and higher highs in this consolidation patch here. So if you see this occurring tomorrow morning or tonight or whenever you're trading, and you see this start to happen, this pattern right here, after you came off a long downtrend, this is a clue. These are just clues. They're all clues that are pointing towards potential trend change. Now let's come over here and watch what happens. Here, not only do we take out the top, we push higher, and your first entry on this short, on buying a long would have been this consolidation patch right in here. See it? So we push up to a fresh high, background turns green, bars are predominantly blue. We're starting to get higher lows and higher highs. Mid band is stair-stepping up. So when this occurs, we're going into an uptrend. And how do we trade an uptrend? Anybody? When we go into an uptrend, how do we trade it? Do we buy when it moves up? Do we buy when it moves down? So we said we see a trend change. Here's the downtrend. Here's our stripes. Stair stepping up, higher lows, higher highs. We're looking to buy what? How do we trade an uptrend? Anybody? Trading an uptrend. Come on, everybody should know that one. How do we trade an uptrend? How do we trade it? What's our primary mode of entry? I see some good answers coming in. Retracements. Yeah, you have to wait for pullbacks. We don't buy or sell thrusts. We wait for pullbacks. And so that's what we get right here. Now let's go ahead and continue on with this and see what happens. See if there's any trade entries. Okay, you ready? I'm going to advance the chart and I'm going to ask a question. Okay, here was our first potential trade entry, was right here. We all see it. And then here we get a thrust move up. So now we're solidly in the uptrend move right here. Come all the way up here to 540, 546. So I would say this is a pretty good place to buy. I'd get in right here. What do you think? Hit market entry? It's moving up. Pretty clear it's moving up to me. This is the time to jump in. That's what we teach, right? Whenever you get a thrust move in a market, that's the time to jump in, right? No. We got to wait for retracement. We got to wait for a pullback. All right, now I'm going to ask a question. No, says Peter. Okay, good. All right, now if this market was to pull back from this swing up here at 46, where might it pull back to? And I'll help you out. We're looking to get long on a bounce. Where might it pull back to? I'll give you 15 seconds. Where are you looking to take a trade on this trend move up? 15 seconds. Ten seconds left. Where are you going to get long? Six seconds. Where are you getting in? I'll give you a couple more seconds. I see some answers still coming in. Where are you looking for a pullback to get in? All right, I got some great answers coming in here. I really like this. Okay, good. So here's the thing. Here's what we talk about all the time. We got to think of the retracements as a range. I say this almost in every webinar, and it's really healthy for everybody to think of it this way. So we have this huge push up here from 10 to 46. That's about 35 ticks. We're expecting a retracement anywhere down in this area right here. So if you said anywhere between just under 20 to 30, 34. I see some of you put ranges in. That's good. That's good. I saw some mid-bands. Peter, you had a good range. So you've heard this analogy out of me many, many times, is that this is our sweet spot. This is our strike zone. This is our strike zone. So whenever a market comes into our strike zone, and in this case, bounce, we are looking to buy or get long, right? Let me advance the chart. Okay, here. Okay, what is the market doing right here? What is it doing right there? Right in here. What's it doing? Anybody? Yeah, it's bouncing. It's right in the middle of our sweet spot of our strike zone right here, right? It's right in the middle of it. And it bounces. You get a reversal candle. Could have boxed this in. So right in here, we're doing what? We're buying and we're getting long. Here the market comes up, takes out the top. There's our scalper target, and then it starts to take a nice run. Beautiful run all the way up. Look at that move. Look at that trade. How many of you got this one right? Yeah, it's the buy. Okay, so what you do is you're going to use your tools. You're going to use the line tool or the ray tool in Object Trader. You could use bar reversal. You could have boxed it in like this, right here at support. You got long on the close of this bar right here, got you long right here. Right there, you're getting long. Right all the way up, scalper target here at the swing, trail your stops, and you get taken out up here on your long trade. All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to shift to another chart. Does everybody understand the basics of this now? Okay, I've spent quite a bit of time covering the basics. Is everybody clear? Any questions on this? Because I'm going to start shifting to more complicated patterns on other charts. David D, that's clear. Peter W, could the market go lower after the reversal candle? On which reversal candle? Ron? On this one right here? Are you talking about this candle right here where you got long? Right here? Let me get this line out of the way. Is that the one you're talking about? It could. It could. Let me answer it this way. When you take a trade in the market and you buy or sell the market, what are your odds of being right? What are your odds? Just like you asked, Ron. So right here, you're long on the close of that bar. You're long. You bought the market. You committed it to the market. You put real capital on the line. You got long on that bar right there. When you take that trade, what are your odds that it's going to move in your favor or move against you? Everybody should know this one. What are your odds? Yeah, 50-50, right? 50-50. You're not sure. Now, here's a question here. How, if you say that your odds are 50-50 when you take a trade, isn't that more or less the same as flipping a coin? Isn't that, then why trade? If taking a trade here, because I'm answering, sort of in a roundabout way, answering your question there, Ron, right? If you pull the trigger right there, what you just said, 50-50 odds, it's like flipping a coin, heads or tails, that it could go against you. Now, how do we stack the market in our favor so we have better than 50-50 odds? What are we doing when we take these trades like this that I'm showing right here to make the odds better than 50-50? Because let's face it, I mean, how can anybody in any market make money by flipping a coin? How do we stack the deck in our favor when we take trades like I'm showing right here? Or is it always 50-50, no matter what you do? What do you think? Is it always 50-50? Or are there things that you can do to help your cause? Think about that for a second. What are we doing here to put the odds in our favor and try to get them above 50-50? See some answers coming in. Think about it for a minute. This is an important question, right? What are we doing here to try to increase our odds? Some good answers coming in. Yeah, good. I like that. I'm trying to get everybody to think a little bit more. You know, it's so easy sometimes to just sort of look at the mechanics of the trade, see where to get in, where to get out, and all stuff, things like that. But what happens is a lot of traders never really sort of pause to think about what they're doing and why they're doing it. If you're going to get an edge, you have several things. Roger said you're waiting for the retrace. That's correct. So what I'm going to say to you is a series of things that we're doing that are stacking the deck in your favor to make it the odds better than 50-50. In fact, I would go so far as to say much better. Use of Viper tools, using trading with the trend. Okay, good. Going with the momentum of the market, Ron, good. And looking at the indicator to find support to take the trade. Perfect. So what you have is the cumulative effect of what you just said, trading with the trend, trading with the momentum. We have the tools that help us to see that, yes? We know that the odds of taking this trade and it working out are much, much higher than 50-50, right? I can't give you an exact number, but it's going to be much, much higher than 50-50. I mean, I'd say it could be as high as 70, 75, 80% move in your favor. And the reason you can, the evidence to support that is all the good trades that we take in the live trading room on real data using these exact same charts. I mean, most days we only have, if even that, maybe one or two losers out of a whole morning of taking trades. So in effect, what we've done is we've taken a market which appears on the surface to be random and not predictable, and we've made it somewhat more predictable in the fact that we've used these tools. We're trading with the trend. We've waited for the retrace. We look for the support area. We deploy our tools and we get in and we take these trades. All right, now if there are no more questions on this, I'm going to switch to another chart. Let me pause the screen. I wanted to cover at least one or two more instruments before we run out of time here. Let's get another chart down here. Okay, now that was pretty straightforward when a market is trending. Let's look at something that is not as clean or straightforward. Let me see if I can find something just a little tougher. Let me do this. Here's what I'm going to do. This was the other day. This was last Thursday or Friday, I think. I have a little chunk of chart I want to put up, and I'm going to ask a question. Now, I'm going to help you out with this. I'm going to give you some clues to help you get started. I'm looking at the right-hand half of the chart. So from right here, over to here. What would be your primary mode of entry on this chart? And I'll give you 30 seconds for this. Are you taking shorts? S, shorts only, SO. L, longs only. Or both, B, both. Primary mode of entry on this chart, 30 seconds. SO, short only. LO, long only. Or you would trade this range using both sides. "25 seconds left. "20 seconds left. 15 seconds. Short only, long only, B for both. Five seconds left. What are you doing? How are you trading it? Okay, time is up. Let me show you some reasons on why you would approach it this way. Even though the background, and this is the visual clues I was talking about before, right? Visual clues. Even though the background is striped, what colors is it striped? Right in here. What colors are you getting on the stripe? And before you went into this sideways consolidation range right in here, what happened right here? These are all the clues that you got to look at when you're thinking about trading a chart, right? The answer is short only. You are only shorting this, okay? Because the primary, first of all, you had the breakdown. So technically you're sideways in what's setting up to be a downtrend. So you're shorting resistance. Each time it came up here and rolled over, you're shorting it. Back on down, you cover. Short it, cover. Short it, cover. You don't want to buy here. You're just covering your shorts. That's all you're doing. Even though you have stripes, it's red, red, mixed, red, mixed. And you're still getting a series of lower highs and lower lows. So you're still trending down and you're shorting only. Shorting only. Good. Most of you got that right. That was really, really good. Good for you. Excellent job. All right, let me come back and look for another day here. Okay, I'm going to do another trade call. This is late in the afternoon on a trading day the other day for NASDAQ. I'm going to start to pick up the pace. I'm going to give you 30 seconds on each. Yeah, short only, Ron. Short only on that last. That's true. That's true, Peter. Peter, by the way, giving a comment here, observing that if it was the open, you could trade both sides. Yeah, because it could go either way. But coming off a downtrend like that into the close of the market, you're going to primarily stay with the trend, which in that case was down. Good. Okay. Here's the new setup. Here we have our thrust. The market has come up to 26 3/4. On a retracement, where are we looking to take a long trade? It's an open-ended question. I'll help you out. The trend is up. Where are we taking long trades? "30 seconds. Where would you look to buy long? Then let's say tomorrow morning you get up and we have a chart that looks just like this, and you're trading NASDAQ and you're looking to get in. Where would you get in? Where are you looking to get in? Anybody? 30 seconds on the clock. "25 seconds. "20 seconds. "15 seconds. Where are you getting in? "10 seconds left. Almost out of time. Okay, good. Most of you got this right. You got some nice ranges in there. Good, good, good. Remember our little sweet spot. It starts up here. That's the shallow retracement. Mid-band's at 20 3/4, and it could go as low as down there. This is our little sweet spot area. This is our pitching. Oops. There, we got to try to open this up a little bit. This is our sweet spot. We're looking for anywhere in here. Retracement down into that area. We're looking for a bounce to get long, yes? Good. Good, good. Everybody got that right. Now I'm going to advance the chart a little bit. You tell me what's going on. Here we go. We're pulling back. What happened right there? Right here. There's the mid-band right there. So here again, what are we doing? We're stacking the odds in our favor. We're trading with the trend. We're trading with momentum. We're using our tools to get in. We're looking to buy a support area. All of these things have stacked the odds in our favor, so it's much better than 50-50 that trade works out in our favor. Okay, I'm going to give you a quick 15-second pop quiz. Is this area right down here a trend change, yes or no? Right here. Is this a trend change, yes or no? Y or N? Just type in a Y or N. You got 15 seconds. 12 seconds. 10 seconds. Y or N? Just type in a Y or N. Yes or no? Is that a trend change, yes or no? 5 seconds. No. Okay, time is up. No, 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 no. This is not a trend change. Remember what our rule of thumb is. I've said it several times. I want everybody to remember this, okay? This is a really simple, easy thing to remember. If the market, for the most part, okay, stays above this outermost band in a trend move, you are still in the trend, right? Here, for instance, you can see that the trend was up. We broke up, thrust move, pull back, bounce off the mid-band, come a little bit deeper. We consolidate just under the mid-band, going sideways, but the trend is still up, right? We poke up, and then we get a continuation move. All right, good. Everybody got that correct. Let me look for a little more difficult setup and see if you can get this right. I think I can find a couple more challenging ones that are going to make it tougher for you. Okay, you ready? Okay, I'm going to pop a couple. All these are going to be 15 seconds. Okay, I'm going to try to pop through quite a few in the next couple of 3 minutes. I'm going to pop through quite a few so you get instant pattern recognition. Ready? 15 seconds on the clock. Starting right now. Right hand side of this chart. Is this a trend change? Yes or no? Right hand side of the chart. Your eyes are right over here. A Y or an N? 12 seconds. Y or an N? Right hand side of the chart. Trend change, yes or no? Take a look at it. What's going on there? Ten seconds left. Five seconds. Time's up. All right, yes, this is a trend change. What was our rule of thumb? What was our rule of thumb, everybody? As long as it stays underneath this outermost band, for the most part, in a trend move, you are still in the trend. However, in this case, it broke up right here. Background changes. What are the other visual clues here? Just very quickly. There's visual clues all over the place here. Get the mid-band stair steps up. All the bands stair step up. Background turns green. Right? See that? Take out the band. Up we go. Now, if this market retraces, yeah, it broke the upper band. You get a nice green stealth. Bars are blue. Stair stepping up. Background turns to green. All these things are clues that the trend is no longer down and we broke into the upside. If this market retraces, where are you getting in? 15 seconds. 15 seconds. If it pulls back, where are you getting in? 15 seconds. Time's almost up. 9 seconds. Time's almost up. 3 seconds. Where are you getting in? Good. I see some ranges coming in. Good. Where's that sweet spot? Down in here. Good. So we get a pullback anywhere down in here. Where are we getting? We're looking to get long on a bounce. Where does it happen? Pulls back, pulls back, pulls back. What does it do right here? Mid-band consolidation. You get the box right here. What do? Pull the trigger and you get in. Pulls back, gives you another chance, and up it goes. What a beautiful trade there, huh? Look at that. Textbook. Bounce, up, fresh swing highs. Everybody got that right. Perfect. Let's do one more difficult one and we're going to run out of time. Okay, last question, then we're going to wrap. Right-hand side of the chart. What is the trend on this chart right here? What is the trend on this chart right here? Last question, 15 seconds. What's the trend? Last question of the day. Last call, last trade call of the day. Right-hand side of the chart, what's the trend? Nine seconds. What is the trend? Trend is your friend. Time's almost up. 2 seconds. What's the trend? Right-hand side of the chart. Time's almost up. All right. It's going sideways. There is no trend. The bars are going sideways right here. There is no trend. When bars go sideways and the mid-band is flat, everything's flat and sideways, it is going sideways. You have to try to decide if you're going to trade the range or not. In this case, you were range bound and sideways. Good. Everybody got that. All right, I'm going to stop the recorder. Appreciate everybody